Okay. I welcome all of you to delivering on MATLAB. Package, very simple software package, and quite implement about this software. Talk to Dim that let us try to keep in a very elementary level, and then probably later on we may extend up some sophisticated calculating for this MATLAB software. Tip of my lecture is to cover some almost there are in other program also. First, I'll be starting the basics. So what that I'll basic mathematical MATLAB software. We'll go to this control calculation in through MATLAB, and future is MATLAB software is so those who and other language that how complicated if you solve in the other software. Learn these mathematical consequences for the thing if time is solving initial and boundary value. And then find that means the with the MATLAB, C and other MATLAB it is so it's MATLAB is very high level software package. That means there are lies on the fact that you will and using those inbuilt mathematical functions one can make it more interesting. For example, or any and along with the you can see that how we are behaving. This so to operate this MATLAB, you should have a MATLAB software installed. Then it look like this. Extreme left, you will find your some editor window that is. So, 1 and the extreme right, you will find the results that you wish to do. So that MATLAB software, it is not a free software. You will find this type of scheme there. So once you open this MATLAB by clicking the icon, then you will find this MATLAB software will, if you are operating through the console, or open your, then once you start, then the editor window, so that means that there will be two arrow mark like this, and you will find that command in itself. So now why do that means you need a software package, so that will learn with some we used to solve some that means sum dot dot dot, find out the entry per x square. So those who are from mathematical background, this in of some function need the antiderivative per x square doesn't have a not integration of that type of integration. And then suppose we wish to solve x square. So already we know that means out a closed form equation, but so there doesn't exist thing. So and that in some platform C and other languages also, and one of the efficient platform solutions are. I'll start with. So we'll start with MATLAB. So I guess that many of you are MATLAB, but I'll try. Any two natural number in MATLAB in that case. This scheme is in front of you because I have already opened the MATLAB software, and now this command window, that means it is marked as blue, so that will tell us that I am in a command window. So I need some already something is written down there, so I'll try to delete that portion, and for time being I'll try to paste it somewhere so that I can use this for later purpose. So our objective is to write to add any two natural numbers. So any two natural numbers, if you start with, say for example, you want to start with addition of two numbers, say fixed number. So for example, suppose So suppose I wish to write 2 and 3. So you just simply write 2 plus 3. So that will gives you the result 5. And similarly, I can write down 2 minus 3.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Sir, are you using the MATLAB skill? So we can't see that. We are only seeing the PDF file. Like the presentation, you have like M file you have written. So
Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Now is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. So let me again repeat it again. So this is the MATLAB that skin you will find. When you double click in the MATLAB icon, then you will able to see that skin. So the extreme left, you will find all those existing that means required information as well as the existing MATLAB file. And then there are two windows. One is the editor window. So here it will be written editor. And then another one is the command window. And this here you will find it is the workspace. Workspace means the outcome you will able to see in the right hand side itself. So now our objective is to add any two numbers. So before adding any two numbers, so let us see that how it is performed. So for example, already I have written that 2 plus 3. So that will simply give you 5. Then 2 star 3. So star is used for to get the multiplication of two natural numbers. And then similarly 2 minus 3, you will get this. Then division 2 by 3, that will gives you 0.6673. So in C, there is you have to do some mathematical operations. So the difference between C and this MATLAB when you are doing this performance, that you have to first declare all those variable that you are operating. So for example, when you are in C, when you calculate 2 divided by 3, then you will get the value 0 because it will take as an integer format. But in MATLAB, 2 by 3 is same with 2.0 when you write down in a floating point. So that will give you the same result. So that means this is one big advantage, that you are free from the indexing. That means you do not need to declare advance that what type of variable you are using, just to do the calculation. So that's all, right? Okay. So let us come to the this object, our objective. So now I am coming back to the PDF. So is it visible, that PDF part?
yes, sir.
PDF is visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. So I am basically switching between this MATLAB, my PDF, what I'm going to explain, and then I'll this MATLAB software side by side. So sometimes when I miss, then please just stop and let me know that what actually skin is showing, right? Okay. So now here, what exactly happening? So here you have to add any two natural numbers. So that means before calculation, you do not know that what are those numbers which you are expected to add. So therefore, what it is done, so it is first you have to, in the editor file, it is already located in a extreme line MATLAB skin name as new. So that means let us now again come back to this MATLAB platform. Sorry. Okay. So now it is again it is coming to the MATLAB. So see, when you open this, now if you know that what are the numbers that you need to operate, then you don't need to apply this editor window. So you can work the simple calculation, for example, sine pi by 2. Sine pi by 2. So that will gives you the value that is expected value, that will be 0 and so sine pi by 2. So that will gives you the expected value 1. So that means if you do not wish to do some simple calculation, this command window will gives you the output. But when you try to write sine x, then what do you feel? Whether when I compile, there will be an error? What do you expect?
Yes, sir, we need to give some conditions for this value of x.
Okay, let me compile it. So here it is clearly showing that undefined function or variable x. In here, in this case, sine pi by 2. So pi by 2, these are already known to MATLAB. But the MATLAB doesn't understand what is this value is x. So therefore, when there is a unwanted variable or unwanted symbol, then MATLAB will clearly tells you that what is the problem. So here it is showing undefined function or undefined variable. So now if you want to incorporate that type of unknown variable, so how will do that? So in that case, you have to go to this editor window, that editor. So now if you wish to open a new, that means new M file, then you click in the extreme left, you click in the new, and then you go to the script. So that will open a new one. And then since already I have a file that is KU that I wish to work, and then I'll show you how to save it and how to compile, right? So now let us come to this finding the two numbers. Let us come back to that one. So already you know that how to open this MATLAB editor file as well as this command file. So now what exactly your question is that? Your question is that you have to add any two natural numbers. So that means that natural number has to be give through the as an input from the keyboard. So let us see that how inputs are given in the MATLAB file. So say I want to give the input. So command for the input is simply the input. So input, then bracket, and then comma, inverted comma, then you write something. So enter the first natural numbers. So enter the first natural number and it is stop. That means a inverted comma is basically closed and then the bracket is closed. So now when you are going to enter that first natural number, so there should be some variable which actually want to capture that. So that means where you will store that value. So in order to store that value, what will write? I assign something A. A is equal to input, enter the first natural numbers. So then I'll try to save it. So for example, there will be a go to the apps editor. Okay, in the editor you will, there are many things. So what are the things you want to do, then the plot is a different, then app, since what are the platform you can apply, then since I am working in editor, so I'll keep the editor skin here and I'll try to save it. Already I have a file that is called KU. So now suppose I want to work in here, that means this is a new file which I have not given any name. So that I'll try to copy in there. So Control C, entitle. So I'll write down there. And next, you have to input the other natural number. So that I'll write. You can paste it also. So I'll write down B is equal to input, enter the second natural number. Second natural number. So then again, in order to add those two numbers, so you need a variable. So that addition I'll keep as a C. So once you are done, so then you have to save that. So you save this as a say some name you give, say BD, and then all the MATLAB should have an extension like bd.m, so that you can save it. So I have saved it as a BD and the extension is .m. For example, when you are writing a C program, then the C program should be saved as a file name .c, and similarly in case of MATLAB, so you have to save that file as a file name .m. That means .m is the extension to tell the compiler that it is basically a MATLAB file. So then you want to execute. So in the screen, you will find that there is a button called run. So you just click it in that run. So now, once you compare this, when you run this one, then if there is an error, then in the message box, you will get that there are some errors. So since there is no such message, so then I'll go to this command window. So command window, you will find that enter the first natural number. So that you have already written, enter the first natural number. So exactly in the command window, it will appear like that. So you give, say, 45, enter, then you enter. So A will be 45, and then so then enter the what exactly this is happening. So Dimple, why this skin is appearing?
We are seeing something, but I don't know why this is appearing. Please move this window from the share, please.
Please move this window from the share application. I also don't know. So, okay, so you just give the another name 50. So now you see, already you have given a variable which will take the first value that I have already entered as a 45. And then you will find the variable B that will capture the second value, that is 50. And the outcome, that is C. So C will be 95, right? So now once you are done, then you can see that all the variable values of the variables are appear in the screen. So A is equal to 45, then B equal to 50, and C is equal to 95. So let us modify this one. So I'll just give a semicolon. And here also I'll give a semicolon there. And then I'll put a semicolon there. And I'll save that one. Then again I'll run that. So now let us see that since there is no message, that means it is basically compiled. Then you come to the command window. So then earlier it was asking you enter the value of the first number. Similarly, it will appear, say 45 I will give. So then it is coming A is equal to 45. Then I will give, say 50. So then I will give, this is as a 55. Okay, just a minute. The skin is creating.
Sir, there's something running in the backside of your skin. The backside of your run has involved. Are you black application?
Just a minute. Let me, because that will only. Now.
So some background app is interrupting it. Some other background app is open that is interrupting this.
So now this is clean, sir.
No, let me minimize all the screens.
So now this is not coming, sir. So you can use the.
Now okay, na?
Yeah, this is okay, sir.
Okay. So you can do it in the this bd.m, and then one can do the same thing. Just you try to select all and then you paste here. So that you can do. So now I'll save again here and I'll run that one. And then I'll go to the command window. But command window this okay. So when you there are basically it is a command window is overloaded. So you just write clear all. That will clear. That means it will erase from the memory of the software, and then you write CLC. So that means whatever it is will be available in the scheme, that will be automatically deleted. So then I wish to run this KU or BD, whatever you wish to run. So let us see what is happening. So enter the first variable, say 3. So enter the second variable 5. And then earlier when you see, can you see there is a difference in the output? Earlier when you were entering the first natural number, then that was in the side by side, it was in the screen appear that A equal to 3. And then when I enter the second number, then the B variable assigned that, and you could see it in the output itself. But here, in this case, that means as an output, that sum should appear, but sum has not appeared. So now if I write that variable, who is C is the responsible to store that variable, and I will write down that variable C, and that will gives you 8. So there is a that means notion for this semicolon. So in MATLAB, so there are for the output and input. Input there is, this is the function, input function that you have to apply. And when you are removing that, suppose some executable statement. So in MATLAB, all the executable statements should end with a semicolon. But if you do not for the MATLAB. And other thing is that when you do not insert semicolon, so that will gives you indirectly to that will pass the message that it is an output statement. For example, here I have removed that semicolon for C equal to A plus B, and then I'll try to compile that again. So let us see that what is enter the first variable, say 3, and enter the second variable 4, and now you are getting C equal to 7. So earlier case, it was not there. That means when you write semicolon here, so it is an executable statement, but it is not the output statement. So for example, here, if you give 4 or 5 or 6, so then you are not able to see the output. So what exactly I mean to say, that something which you are going to declare as an output, so you do not incorporate this semicolon. So do not put the semicolon. So if I wish that I need C to be the output that I want to see in the scheme, so simply just remove the semicolon. So that will give C as an output when you run that one. Okay. So now let us come to the again this my okay. So already we have seen that how to give the input. So next, the syntax already we have learned. What should be the syntax for the MATLAB input? So that is only the inbuilt function input. And difference between C and the MATLAB is that there is no declaration is required. So that means you don't need to declare any variable name or any characteristics of those variables. That means you don't need to say whether it is an integer, whether it is a floating point, whether it is a complex or whatever it is. You don't need to declare there itself. Just to do the calculation. That's all. So next, what are the variable, like your C, what are the variable, legal variable that you actually assign? That means it says that legal variable means that
आज मन ही सुबह ही सुबह मन हुआ कि नहीं आज शाम को पूजा करेंगे और आपने मट्ठा पी
I request everyone to kindly mute your voice.
So now in the like your C, you can use any alphabet, that means small a to z as a variable name. So that means your variables should start with all the alphabet, whether it is a lowercase or whether it is a uppercase, that is okay. Having so all the remaining character that you can choose, that means you can choose any numeric in between 0, 1, or you can use the underscore. But the maximum length of a variable should not exceed 31 characters. So that means you cannot write a variable name with a very long name. So that should not exceed 31 characters and should not be the same of a built variable. That means variable name should not be the same with a inbuilt MATLAB function. That means, for example, sine. Sine is a inbuilt function of a MATLAB software. So you cannot assign sine to be the name of a variable. For example, max. Max is an inbuilt function in MATLAB to find out the maximum of something. So that you cannot use as a variable name when you are doing some coding. So then it is MATLAB is case sensitive. Like your C programming, it is case sensitive. What does it mean? Suppose I declare a variable, that means I want to use a variable and it is my sum. And similarly, I want to a variable that is my sum. So there is a difference in both the variable. In one variable, there is a capital S, and another one, it is all the small case. So that means in MATLAB, both will be treated as a different variable. So that means although it pronounced the same, that means my sum, but still MATLAB will treat this as a different variable. So that means what we have understood from this slide, that how to give the input in a MATLAB, and then what are the variable that you can use to capture those input. That means those variables which will basically treated to store the input, as well as those variables will be used to capture the output. And then MATLAB is this case sensitive. That means if there is a small case or uppercase, then that will treat it as a different variable name. And already we have seen that MATLAB, the file name should have a dot extension. That means if you are writing some code, then you have to save that file as a file name .m. So this is the basic preliminary things that you should know in case of MATLAB. So there are some inbuilt functions and variable that is used in MATLAB. For example, cos x. So that is the usual our cos function. Then sin x, that is the usual sin function. And then tan x, that is the usual. These are the syntax in the extreme left here. That means first column and the third column. So those are the functions, usual function that we use in the MATLAB. So similarly, these are the functions that we use in the MATLAB. And you will find all those things in this book, Applied Numerical Methods. So by the Young. So already I have circulated this one to Dimple. Probably he has circulated this book to all of you, right? So page number 12 to 13, you will find that. So probably I have that book. Let me see whether.
So we didn't get any book as of now.
I'm about to circulate this. I just forgot to circulate this before.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I will circulate this right now.
Okay, this book. So can you see this title of the book? Applied Numerical Methods using MATLAB. So you will find this MATLAB function in the page number I have mentioned 12 to 13. So page number say 29. 29. So that probably Dr. Dimple Monto will circulate among you. So this function that you can use in that MATLAB. So these are the inbuilt function. In the book also you will find, for example, this makes. So that will use the maximum of this, and then mean that will use as a minimum of this, then sum that will be used to sum something, and then mod y comma x. So that basically the remainder of this y x, and then similarly other inbuilt functions are there. Many functions are there, so that you will find in this book. So let us come to this slide show.
So total, how many functions are there defined in this?
There are many functions, because only I am into the introductory level, because this MATLAB software package is used in many branches. Engineers also use, then from mathematics also use, then the statistics people also use, then data science people also use. So there are many more functions available in the MATLAB, but those functions what I have that means inserted here, so that is for for mathematical calculation. There are many other functions that you will find in through this MATLAB help also, right? So let us come back to this example. Suppose I want to find this sum, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus n. So those who are familiar with C, probably they can answer. So how to find out this sum? So earlier example, we have learned how to add any two numbers. So, but here we have to learn, that means here the example saying that you just add the first n natural number. So that's what it is saying. So the symbol 1 plus 2, 3, those are understood by the MATLAB. But this dot, 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 they do not understand. So that means somehow you have to pass this dot, dot, dot information to your software, so that it compiles and gives the desired result. What 1 plus 2 plus 3 dot, dot, dot n. So what do you feel? How will try to write down this? So had it been only 5 numbers, say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, then I could have done it in the software itself. For example, if I want to, so let me, since I do not require this, so in the command window, let us say, so I want to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So that will give you the desired result. So you do not need to worry about what is that. But when I write 1 plus 2 plus 3 dot, 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 plus dot, 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 plus n, then it cannot compile. So that means there is some issue with the expression 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot, 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 plus n. So MATLAB doesn't understand what this expression is expected to calculate. So therefore there will be always a error. For example, here the error is that expression or statement is incomplete or incorrect. So that means whatever the information I have supplied in the command window, so MATLAB could not recognize it. That's why there is a error message in the scheme. So now, in order to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus n, so even I can add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to 10. So that I can do manually. So suppose I take n equal to 10,000. So it is not meaningful to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus, then so on. So that means you have to come up with a better way to get to pass this information to the MATLAB compiler. So how to pass this information in the MATLAB compiler? So that Okay, so this is our problem. So when you are trying, when you try to write some program, whether it is a very simple program or it is a very difficult one, so always try to write down the algorithm. So what actually you are trying to do? That means stepwise algorithm means stepwise description. So here, first of all, one has to fix the input variable. So in the expression 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot dot dot, what is unknown to MATLAB? Can anyone answer? Which variable is not known to MATLAB in this expression?
So n.
N is not a known quantity. So that means in the expression n is not known to MATLAB. So therefore, you have to incorporate first that n. So that means fix the input variable. So our here input variable should be n. That means I wish to add first 100 natural number, or I wish to add first 10,000 natural number. So that has to be fixed in the very beginning. So already you know that how to give the input of a variable. And the second stage. So second stage is, since you are going to get this value 1 plus 2 plus 3, so that means there should be a variable which is responsible to store that sum. So that means there should be a variable to store the outcome, so that you have to assign that outcome to some variable. So I'll write sum that is responsible to get the value of this, or I can write any variable A, B, C, whatever you wish you can write, but the variable name should be meaningful. For example, here one can write summation, or one can write the result. So that means some meaningful way the variable name has to be given. So now in the first, second step, you should fix the variable which will be responsible to capture that sum. Then next step, add the third number with the output in step 2. So that means in the step 2, what actually you have done, so you assign the first number of the sum, then add the third number with the, oh sorry, here it is a mistake. So it should be the second number. Add the second number with the output in step 2. That means already when you're writing sum equal to 1, then that sum has to be added with the second one, and then finally repeat the step 3. And you stop when it reaches the desired result. So that means what I want to do, that I have to, what exactly step 2 and step 3 is doing. So you are basically repeating the steps. So that means you add first 2 terms, then the output you add with the third one, then next the output you add with the fourth one. So that way you are actually doing the repetition of something. So that means when you are doing some repetition, then in programming language it is known as a flow control statement, or flow, that means the looping. So this is, one can done this type of looping the way you do in C language. That C language you can do it using the for loop, or there are other loops also. A simple for, that means loop is like that. For n equal to, that means n, this small n is basically the counter. So this counter is equal to 1 colon 1 colon n. So what is the meaning of this? So here what exactly this statement will tells you, first n will assign to the value 1, then the second one, this second column, this one will basically tells you the increment. That means what should be the increment I should give. So that means if n takes value 1 in the first stage, so next stage it will increment by, n will be increment by 1. That means next step it will be value 2. And then it will continue to a final step, that is the desired step. That means you have to add n number. So this is the length of the loop that you have to fix. That means whether you wish to add 10 number of integers, or you want to use 100 number of students, 100 number of integers. So that has to be fixed there. So suppose if I write instead of 1 here, suppose I write 2, what will be the next value of n?
3.
So here 1 means the starting value of n. That means the first one will be the starting value, and the second one is the increment of the loop, and then n is the final terminal value of the n. So that means when I write it is n equal to 2, then the next increment will 1 will be added with 2. That means you will get 3. Then next time we will get the n equal to 5. So since here I want to add increment is only 1, that means 1 that is increased by 1, again 3 is increased by 1. So I have given a counter that is up to 1. So that means increment is 1. So let us try to see here what actually the MATLAB, how we'll write down this in MATLAB. Okay, so since I do not need this one, so I'll just, when you right click, you will find that a comment or uncomment or something like that. So I'll have given a comment. So comment means this symbol is used to give the comment. That means it is only for the user, it is not for the compiler. So now percentile A means that will be treated as a non-executable MATLAB statement. So I have commented all those non-desired statement. So here, what exactly the input was? So input was n. So I'll write n equal to input. So input, inverted comma, enter the number of natural numbers. And since I do not want this should be a, okay. So if I do not put this semicolon, and if I put a semicolon, what will be the difference?
It will not consider it as an output.
So that means if I give semicolon, so it will only treat it as an executable statement. It is not treated as an output statement. But if I remove this semicolon, it will be treated as a output statement. So since I do, n is not important for us, so I want to only execute. I don't want to see the value as an output. So I have given a semicolon there. And once you fix there, so what is your loop tells you? So our aim is to find out this. So let me write down 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus ... plus n. So this sum I have to calculate. So now once you have to calculate this sum, n is the unknown quantity for MATLAB. So that I have assigned as an input variable. So that means now it is known to the MATLAB. And then I have to come up with the sum of this. So what your algorithm tells you, that you just you assign that in some variable which will able to capture the output. So I'll write assign the, in the first stage I'll add only the first number. Then the second stage I want to write the the output and as well as the second number. So that will be sum is equal to the earlier sum should be added with the second number. So our second number is 2. And then once you get this sum, so next I will write down the sum is plus 3. Okay. So now tell me that sum is equal to 1 in the second statement. And next I have written sum equal to sum plus 2. And what is the output here? What will be the output here?
3, sir.
Output, that will be 3. Why it is 3? Because already sum has been given a value that is 1. So in this step, the earlier sum will be added with 2 and you will get the value 3. So now next step again, that output has to be stored, add with the third one, that is plus 3. So that sum, earlier sum will be added with this. So in the third executable statement, your output is, what will be the output?
6.
So what will earlier your sum will be 3. So now 3 plus 3, that will be 6. So here output will be 3 and here output will be 6, right? So now, if had it been a only finite n, that n is always finite, but very small n. Then, for example, n equal to, suppose you wish to add 10. So I could have written down this, just copy and paste there. Then I'll write 4. Then I'll paste, this is 5. So I could have done that. But since n could be a large natural number also, so therefore this is, in practice, this is not, that means it is not useful. So now I want to write in a proper way. So for I need n, the n, because I want to vary n, because n should take the value from 1 to up to n. So first the n will assign the value 1. And then the increment, that means I want, since it is 1 plus 2, there is a only increment of 1. So increment I have given 1. And then how long you wish to calculate. So I'll write down n. And then I'll write sum is equal to earlier sum plus n. So now I should start from n equal to 2. Then I don't want n. So now what exactly this loop will do? So first sum equal to 1. So instead of n, I could have given another counter I. So I'll start from 2 to 2 and then increment 1. Then it will go up to n. So now here it will be sum plus I. And if you don't want this to be a output statement, so you write down sum, because each step sum will be calculated, so you will get the output in that way. So now what actually this loop will do? So first I will be 2. Now your sum, that is equal to sum plus I. So I equal to 2, so sum is equal to 1. So in the first step it will calculate 1 plus 2. So now it will again, I go to the loop. So now I will be 3 because increment is 1. So next step I will be 3. So now new sum will be sum equal to sum plus I. That means your sum, what was the earlier sum? That was 1 plus 2. So now your I equal to 3. It will calculate 1 plus 2 plus 3, and it will continue until you reach I equal to n. So that means ultimately what will be the output? That means sum will capture which value? So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus ... n. So this is the syntax for the for statement, that means for the counter and then the executable statement and this. And so finally, if you wish to see what should be my output, so you keep it, the output variable there. So now you save it and then you, let me see. So if you do not want to, compile through this run, so you can compile the same thing with the command window. So in command window, since I want to compile this BD file, so you write down in the compare this BD. So now it will ask you that enter the number of natural number. Suppose I want to add 100. So output will be, so sum equal to 5050. So why it is coming as an output? So because you have written sum as an output, because I did not given this semicolon. So had it been not written this sum as an output, so just you see that what it will appear. So I'll compile again BD, enter the number 100. So now there is no output. So if you wish to see the output, just you write down sum. So sum equal to 5050. So it is a good practice that if you wish something to be the output, then you write down the variable name and do not incorporate the semicolon there, right? So that will gives you the result. Okay, so now let us come to this. Okay, so this is about the for loop. So suppose I want to find out the maximum of any two numbers. whether your for loop will work? What do you feel?
So we have to define
what
for
is
loop
the
in a
difference
different.
between this problem? That means find the sum of 1 plus 2, find the sum of any two natural number, and finding the maximum of any two numbers, or say find the maximum of any two natural number. What is the basic difference both the problem?
So the definition of function, like the input variables.
So when you are asked to find out the sum of any two natural number, so there is no conditions, because just to give the input and then find out the sum. But when you are asked to find out the maximum of any two natural number, so that means how do you calculate the maximum? So that means you have to, there is a comparison. That means you have to compare one with the another. So the moment you have a comparison between two numbers, or not necessary two, it could be a finite set of numbers. So then you are basically comparing the numbers. So that means you have to take some decision. That means which number is bigger than what. And there are some other decision making also. So now when you are that we wish to take a decision, then the for loop will no more helpful to you. So in that case, you should know what are the decision making statement in a MATLAB software. So those who are familiar with C, could you please tell me what are the decision making statement that means that loops in C? Decision making.
If else, sir.
So if
else, that means those are basically some sort of a logical sort of decision making operation you have to do. So let us see that what are the decision making statement available in the MATLAB. So let me open the book. So that already I have shown to you. And then if in the book, if you go to the page number 41, in the book, you go to the page number 41. So the book is visible, right?
yes, sir.
So 41, you will find that in 24 pages, in page number 24, you will find that there are flow statement, that means decision making statement. For example, if, and, or if else. So now when you are trying to compare something, when you are going to give some decision, then you should have the mathematical operator, or more precisely the logical operator that are used in the MATLAB. For example, suppose you want to compare two numbers, which one is bigger, then mathematics we apply this less than. So that means this operator, this column 1 and then column 3 and column 5 are all those logical operators that are used in the MATLAB software. For example, if you want to write compare only less than, then just you put this symbol less than. Then if you wish to write down less than or equal, then you have to incorporate this one. And when you are want to check whether the numbers are equal or not, then you have to give you double equal. And similarly for the greater than, similarly for greater than or equal, and then similarly for the not equal. And then the apart from this mathematical, these logical operators, these are basically known as the relational operator, and these logical operator that we do not use in mathematics, but in this packages C or MATLAB we use. That means N means if you wish to combine two statements, and then this symbol is used for or, and this is used for the not. And a simple if-else block is given by this. So if you see this example 1, what actually it tells you, it is the example of if-and block. So suppose I give a, because since you want to give some condition or you want to check some mathematical condition, so there has to be some mathematical expression. So here the mathematical expression is that t equal to 0. That means the t is a variable which has assigned value 0. Your condition tells you that if t is greater than 0, then this variable sg and t that will take value 1. And when your variable, that means if else, sign this variable will take -1. So that means if t is greater than 0, then the variable will take the value 1. And if t is less than 0, or else if it is less than 0, then it will basically take the value -1, right? So now, what do you feel that what should be the output of this one? Suppose I execute this statement that t is equal to 0, and if t greater than 0, this will be the value, else this will be the value. What do you feel?
Some equal will come, no? If t is equals to 0, then
Suppose
both will
I
not.
Copy it, and next I'll try to incorporate this MATLAB. Since this is no more useful, so I'll write down in the command, and simply I have copied that block and I'll paste it here. So now, what do you feel that what should be the output of this block? T equal to 0. So that means if else, what actually tells you, if this mathematical expression is correct, then only these are the executable statement. That means when the mathematical in the if it is correct, then all the executable statement next to if will be executed. And if the condition is fails, then straight away the compiler will take the value, the other one. So in this case, what should be the value of SGL? So I'll write down is a different name. Say A, and I'll save it. So what should be the value of A in this case? What do you feel?
0.
A
Either
will
one,
be 0.
either 1 or -1.
No, I'll say that A will not take the value 1. It will take two values. Yes, you are correct. Either 1 or it will take -1. But the condition is that t greater than 0. Whether it is true? Whether t
No,
greater
sir.
than 0
No,
is
sir, it is t is
No.
already defined
already
as 0.
t is assigned the value 0. Yes or no?
Right,
T
sir.
is
It is
already
already.
assigned the value 0. So that means this condition is false. And since this condition is false, so this is the executable statement after if. So that will be not executed. That means the compiler will simply bypass. Once the condition is false, the compiler will directly bypass the if block. It will control will come to the else block. That means only the else block will be executed. Since the condition is false, so it will execute only the else block. So let us see that what is happening here. BD. So now, why you have why here we did not see the output? What is the reason?
So we have not defined A here.
See, all the executable statement end with semicolon, and once all the executable statement end with semicolon, then compiler will not treat those statements as an output statement. So that means for compiler, there is no output statement. In the command window, you do not see any output. But what is your output? Expected, which variable is expected output here?
-1.
No. Variable. -1 is the value.
Sorry, A.
A, sir,
A
A.
is the
A.
expected output. So you just write down A here. So what do you feel? What should be the value?
-1.
Let's see. Yes, A is the -1. So why A is the -1? Why A is the -1?
Because it is simply rejected the first condition,
Yes,
and then
because the if block is rejected. Why if block is rejected?
Because t is defined as
Because the
0.
mathematical expression in the if block, that is t greater than 0, is not correct one. So it is not a correct statement. So therefore, the compiler will not at all execute the if block. Directly it will execute whatever the value that will execute there. So now there is a limitation with the if and end. So suppose I take this is equal to, suppose I want to test not only two conditions. Suppose I want to test the grade of a student. Suppose if it is more than 85, then it is A grade, more than 75, it is B grade, and more than 60%, it will be C grade. So that way, suppose I want to check multiple conditions. So whether simple if else block will execute that.
No, sir, we have
So here
to
what is
make more
happening? So here
comparisons.
only two conditions. That means either it will true or it will false. That means if there is only two conditions, that means either false or true, then in that case, if else, simple if else block will be useful. But if you need to check multiple conditions, then this type of if only if else will not work. So in that case, you need a other type of if else box. So there are some other. So now the book is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us come to that multiple condition. So in example 4, what actually the if, else if, and block, that means end block. So that means here using this block, you can use, you can check the many condition. So what exactly here in this program it is happening in this block. So suppose if you have a variable point, and point it is assigned a value that is 85, and the condition if point greater than equal to 90 and grade A. So now this output, whether it is a in those who are familiar with C, whether it is a output is a integer or output is a floating point or output is a indifferent character. Here output, this grade is basically used as an output of, that means grade is basically used to capture what type of variable. Here point, that is clear, point equal to 85, that means point will capture a real number which has a value 85. That is clear from this statement. So now here this grade is also a variable, but this variable is assigned to a numerical value or a non-numerical value.
Non-numerical.
That is a non-numerical value. See, so in case of C language, so this type of non-numerical value is known as a string or character. Yes or no? So that
Yes.
you have to declare before compilation of your program. But in MATLAB, that sort of declaration is not at all useful. That means not at all required, not useful, not at all required. So let us see that what is, let us copy this program, Control C, and let us try to paste in this MATLAB. Since this is no more required, so I'll comment it. And simply I'll paste it here. Okay. So now, what exactly it is happening here? Point. So point is a variable which takes the value 85. Is it clear? And let us come to the if block. So if point, that means if this variable is greater than equal to 90, grade will be A. So that means if a point is greater than equal to 90, that means the student has got grade A. Else if, so what is the meaning of else if? What is the meaning of else if?
Greater than, less than 90, but greater than 80.
That means if point is greater than 90, that means if this mathematical expression point greater than equal to 90, if it is correct, then immediately the compiler will execute the grade as an outcome, grade equal to A. Compiler will immediately do that. But the moment if it is fails, that means if this condition is not true, that means in this case, whether it is a correct statement, point is greater than equal to 90, whether it is correct or false.
False, sir.
It is false. Why it is false? Because already the
85.
point has been given a value, point equal to 85. So that means this statement is incorrect. So that means this is not correct. So therefore, immediately the compiler will not execute this if block. That means the compiler will immediately bypass this if block and the control will immediately come to the else if block. So now in this statement, else if, what it will check? So that means it tells you that point once the this statement is not correct. So that means point should be less than 90. So it might happen that it is less than 90, but bigger than 80. So then the compiler for this statement, the compiler will check whether point is greater than equal to 80. The point is, if point is greater than equal to 80, then this block will be executed and you will get the output as grade equal to B. Now suppose if this statement is also not correct, then the compiler will pass the control to the next statement. And the compiler will test whether next statement is correct. If it is correct, then that block will be executed. And if it is not correct, then that block won't be executed. And then similarly, it will happen to here. So in this case, what is the probable outcome? So in this
B.
example,
Grade
what is
equals
the
to
output
B.
variable?
Sir, B.
No. B is the value. I am asking you the variable. A, B, C, D, F, all are the values. It might be a numerical value or it might be a characteristic value. That is a different story. But those values are captured by which variable?
Grade.
Grade. So that means your output variable is grade. So therefore, compiler will only give the output as in a grade. So in this case, what should be the value of grade? Because
B.
already the value of point is in front of you.
Says B.
So that means point is 85. So that means this statement is not correct. So since this statement is not correct, so control will come to here. So now compiler check whether point is greater than equal to 80. Yes, the point is greater than equal to 80. So therefore the output will come as a grade equal to B, right? So then all the other statement will be not executed. Only this part will be executed and the loop will be entire, right? So let us see what will be the output. So what do you feel? Whether it will compile?
Yes.
Clear all CLC. So what should I write here in the command window? Because I want to
Point.
compile which file? BD.
BD.
So I'll write BD. Okay, there is a error. So what the error message is, the input character is not valid MATLAB statement or expression. But I have already copied that part from the book. So whether it is incorrectly printed in the book or something else.
No, sir, we have not defined the word point here.
No, already I have said that you do not need to define. Only the problem is that with this symbol, this is not treated as a proper inverted comma in this MATLAB. So let me change that one. Let me change that one and see what will happen. Okay, so let's see, let us save it and go to command. Now I'll clear all the earlier memory and then I'll write PD. So now see, you could see that grade equal to B, because that is already expected. Why it is expected? Because it is correct. So let us, I'll change this one. So now what should be the output?
Grade A.
Grade equals to A.
Grade equal to A will be the output. So just you in the command window, so you just write down BD. So grade equal to A. So now if you write down save, and then you write
F.
down, so grade equal to F. So see, he got a 45%, still he got F grade. So in our system, that 30% mean it is a pass grade, right? Okay.
33%, sir.
33, okay. So now this is about the block statement. So let us again come back to my slide.
Excuse me, sir. What
Yes.
was that CLC command for? After
CLC,
clear all, you have typed CLC.
or that will erase the earlier command. If you just a minute.
Sir, I think
Here.
it is a clear screen command.
It will erase. Clear all means it will remove the memory. That means whatever the earlier memory, see in the right here, I'll write BD. So see in this skin in the extreme right workspace here, you will find the result output. That point was 45, grade was F. So output, but when I'll write clear all, so that will immediately erase the memory upon the computer space. And then when I'll write CLC, it will clear the skin. That command window skin, it will clear. Okay.
sir.
Okay. So let us come back to this one. Okay. So now find the maximum of any two numbers. So already you know how to apply the maximum, that means how to use the maximum of this. So how to write down this MATLAB code in this case? So you insert comment, and I'll be require this one. I'll be require this one. So now A is equal to enter the first number, because it's not necessary to be natural. I'll write down enter the second number. So A will capture first, B will capture this, and then there should be another variable to capture the maximum. So what will be the if statement? Suppose I want to find out the maximum of A and B. So what I'll write? If A
is greater
greater than B.
greater than equal to B, then I need another variable to capture that. Then maximum will be A, and then else C equal to B N, right? So let us try to save it, and I'll.
So, but greater than or equals to B will make it something.
If greater than or equal to, that is okay, because greater than equal to is a safe notation. Either it will be greater than or it will be equal. When you write strictly greater than, then it will only consider that strictness. That means if it is strictly greater than B, then it will be executed. So if I take A equal to 10, B equal to 10, then that one won't be executed. Or here it will not make any difference, because ultimately if it is false, then it will come C equal to B. You can write strictly also, but always try to give this greater than equal in a safe notation, right? Okay, so let us compile that BD. Enter the first number, say 45. Enter the second is 76. So I want, because C was not the output statement, so I have to write down C, so 76, right? So these are the simple things that you should know. And then let us come back to this one. So another advantage with the this MATLAB software is that operation over the matrices. So have you done any matrix inversion in C programming?
Yes, sir.
So how many lines code you have written down? Matrix inversion.
30 plus.
So it is very inconvenient to write down this matrix inversion, right, at undergraduate level, and it's very difficult or tedious task also, very irritating task in the writing this matrix inverse program, right? Student also do not get do not get encouragement. So let us see how one can work matrix. So why do you need matrix? Because most of the times your information say you want to solve a system of equation. So system of equations means it will be given by equation sort of 1.1. Suppose you want to solve this, and then if you wish to a 10 by 10 equation, so you know this Cramer's rule, right? Solving system of equation. So even if you incorporate Cramer's rule in the supercomputer, it will take a hell lot of time. That to implement that type of algorithm in a very fast computing platform also. But in case of MATLAB, now we'll see that how convenient it is to incorporate the matrices in MATLAB. So suppose I want to create a row vector, that means only a row matrix. That means row matrix means 7, 3, 9. Say that V equal to 739. So simply you write down V bracket 739. And suppose I want to write down a column matrix. Say column a 3 by 1 column matrix. So first column, a column vector, that first column will be, first row will be 2. That will be separated by semicolon. Second row will be 6, and that will be 1. So that means if I do not keep semicolon in the matrix, when you incorporate matrix, then it will be treated as a row vector. And when I write down the semicolon inside this bracket, so that will incorporate as a column vector. And suppose I want to generate a 3 by 3 matrix, say first row is 1, 2, 3. Second row is 5, 7, 11. Then you just, this is write down the first row. That means first row is 1, 2, 3. You write down as a row vector 1, 2, 3. Then separate it by a next row separated by a semicolon. Then you write down the second row. That means second row is 5, 7, 11. You write 5 space 7 space 11. Then the break the bracket, the row by semicolon. Then you write down the third row. So that will be 13, 17, 19. So this matrix, it can be done in a very easy, convenient way. So if you want to store this information, P equal to 739. So in C, what exactly, how it is done? See how it is done. So basically, when you are storing something in terms of a matrix, you have to apply a arrow. Yes or no? Either it could be a one-dimensional arrow, three-dimensional, or two-dimensional arrow, or multi-dimensional arrow. But here you don't need to declare anything, just to incorporate. For example, if you write to incorporate this. Suppose I want to solve this system of equation. So what it tells you, x1 plus x2 minus twice x3 equal to 1. And then these are the system. So in order to solve this, what do you require? You require the coefficient matrix. So what is the coefficient matrix? What is the row of the coefficient matrix?
1, 1 minus 2, 2
1,
minus
1
3,
minus
1.
2. Okay, let us, and what is the second row? 2 minus
2 minus
3,
3, 1.
Then third row is 3,
3,
1,
1,
4.
4.
Let us see how it is incorporated. So let us So just remember what was the first row? 1, 1 minus 2. Or 1, 1
minus 2.
2. Okay. So I need here. So A is equal to bracket. What was the first row? 1.
1, 1 minus 2.
1 space 1, then minus
2.
Then in order to go the second row, you just put the semicolon.
Colon.
What was the second row?
3 minus 2, 1.
3 minus 2, 1.
1.
3 minus 2, 1. Yes. 3 minus 2, 1. Break the row. And then third one was 3, 1, 4. So 3 space 4. Right? So A is equal to this. And then second step, what you have to capture? You have to capture the
Variables.
matrix B. So let us see what was the matrix B is. So matrix B is a column vector, that is 1, minus 8 and 7. So remember that 1, minus 8 and 7. One minus 8 and 7. Okay. B equal to, what was the values? 1,
minus 8 and 7.
minus 8 and
7.
Whether it is a correct representation?
No.
B,
Oh.
this, I have written B equal to this. Whether
Semicolons.
Semicolon is
Because
required.
it's a column matrix.
Only the row matrix, but I need a column matrix. So I'll separate those by this. So A is equal to, I have written down, and B equal to this. Since I don't want this as an output, so I want to solve. Sorry.
Second row
So
is wrong.
second
sir.
row of the coefficient matrix is wrong. It should be
Second-
2 minus
2
3,
minus
1.
3, 1.
Yes, sir.
The
minus
second
3,
row of
1.
the coefficient
Just a
matrix is
minute.
2 minus 3, 1.
Okay, 2 minus 3, 1. Sorry, 2 minus 3, 1. 2 minus 3, 1. Is it all right now?
Yeah, sir, there is also a problem with the first row. The last element is minus 2.
First row, there is a problem. Let me check.
1, 1 minus 2.
Okay, 1, 1 minus 2. Yes. 1, 1 minus 2. Yes. Okay, now it seems it is okay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you have to solve AX equal to B. How will solve? Because next hour I have to solve AX equal to B. So that means I need what?
X.
I need X. X equal to
A inverse B.
B, right? So this is required. But in MATLAB, that will X equal to inverse is written I am B, A, and then the multiplication B. So let us see that what actually now it will work. Here or BT. Okay, why it is, and okay.
So you have not commented that.
Okay, I have not commented. Okay, let us give X equal to this. And if you want to see what was the matrix A was, coefficient matrix was this 1, 1 minus 2, 2 minus 3, 1, 3, 1, 4. And the right hand side matrix was 1 minus 8, 7. So that means this way, actually the matrix calculation become much more easier, right? Okay, so
It's awesome, sir.
okay, store matrix A, that already we have done. Okay, can you incorporate this matrix? This is a tridiagonal matrix. N cross N tridiagonal matrix.
Yes, sir.
Earlier it was only a simple 3 by 3 system. So now it is a N by N. N could be 1,000, N could be 10,000. So how will generate this? Can you give me the algorithm? First of all, make sure that whether it is a tridiagonal matrix.
Yes, sir.
So what are the diagonal entries?
So 1 minus 2r and r.
Hey, diagonal entries. Only diagonal
1 minus
entries.
2r.
1 minus
1 minus 2
2r.
r. And what are the upper diagonal?
R.
R.
R. What is the lower diagonal?
0.
R.
Hey, lower
R,
diagonal
R.
is,
R.
so this is the diagonal 1 minus 2r. This is the upper, okay, it was written by my, that means I have written down, so it is not exactly coming as a tridiagonal, but it is a tridiagonal. Diagonal entries are 1 minus twice r, upper diagonal are r, and lower diagonal are r. And rest of the all the quantities are 0. Only diagonal entries, upper diagonal and lower diagonal are non-zero. So this type of matrix are known as a tridiagonal matrix. So how will generate this? Suppose I want to incorporate this matrix through MATLAB. How I will proceed? So what should be the step 1? What should be the step 2? What should be the step 4? Like that. Can anyone explain? So can anyone explain?
The rows will be defined as 1 minus 2r, r and 0 onwards. Then second row we have to define like
Okay.
so we
So
have to,
first store the coefficient matrix as A. Okay. Then store the diagonal entries. So in a n cross n matrix, what are the diagonal entries?
1 minus 2 twice r.
No, 1 minus twice r is the value of the diagonal. But symbolically, suppose if I write A equal to Aij, entries are
I is
Aij.
equal to J. I is equal to J.
What are the I equal to J? That means Ai. Yes or no?
Yes.
That will be diagonal entries. So Aii equal to what? What is the value of diagonal entries?
1 minus 2r.
1 minus 2r. That means Aii equal to 1 minus 2r. So your all the diagonal entries are stored. Next, upper diagonal. What are the upper diagonal? In the first row, what is the upper diagonal? 1, 2. What is the upper diagonal in the second row? 2, 3.
2, 3.
So that
Is
means
I plus 1.
in general, what is the upper diagonal entry?
I
I plus 1.
Okay, so that is equal to R. So now what is the lower diagonal? What is the lower diagonal?
I minus 1 I.
Yes, I
I.
minus 1 I. That is equal to
I.
R. So that means you can store Aii with the diagonal entries, Ai plus 1 with the upper diagonal, and lower diagonal will be stored by Ai minus 1 I. And your counter I will start from where? I will start from first row and first column. So that means I will start from I equal to 1. What will be the counter? The increment for that I?
1, sir.
1. So that means I'll counter for I will be I equal to 1, column 1, and it will continue up to n. Right? And similarly, you can fix the counter for lower and upper. Okay. So you can try in this, probably there is a lab session. So you can try in the lab session also. So with this, I end my lecture here. Okay. So Deepal.
Yes, sir.
So I am done.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, any doubt anyone have? Any kind of question if anyone have, please ask.
No, sir, it was very much clear and simple. Thanks for this.
So if you have any kind of question, you can post in the chat box also. So, or I'm opening
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. The presentation is very clear, sir. You explained very clearly about basic concepts of MATLAB. So I am the part and parcel of Department of Statistics. Can you explain the concepts of statistical plots in MATLAB?
Could you please be louder?
I belong to Department of Statistics.
Okay.
The things are basic mathematics I learned from you very clearly. So, is there any possibility of handling statistical analysis
So I
through
think
this?
we have some
Yes. Statistics or analysis, very much you can apply because this data handling is much more easier.
Okay. Is
But
there
I have
separate model? Separate model is there. Separate model is there.
Right now in slide I do not have,
Okay,
but
sir.
there are many packages like your box plot, and then there are many packages that you can use automatically.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
You can do that. So what you do, just you type in the Google statistical toolbox in MATLAB.
Okay.
Google, you just type statistical toolbox in MATLAB, and that will show you all the statistical library.
Okay. The book is available. They are given a book. No, that book is available for in that book. It's available.
Sorry, your voice is.
You are given one book, sir.
Book, yes, book. You will basically the book is for numerical analysis, and if you use because this numerical matter. So if you require, then I'll send some other book.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'll send some other tutorial for that for statistics.
Fine, sir.
Okay.
Fine, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Any question? Any doubt? Any queries? Anything? Okay, now
So we'll be revising the functions from the books, and if after that we'll have any doubt, can we have another doubt clearance session at the end of the program?
At some point of time we can have this one, but let me see my schedule.
Sure, sir, as per your convenience.
So let me check my schedule. So then I'll let you know through Dimple. Okay.
Fine, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Good day, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Dimple, sir.
Dimple, probably I should signing. I am signing off. Huh? Dimple.
So, sir, can we sign off now? Bhupen, sir.
I don't know. What is the?
Okay, wait for a minute.
Dimple
Wait
is
for
there.
Wait for a minute.
Okay, so I am signing off. Huh? Or is there other formalities?
There was only a doubt clearance and feedback session that has been completed during the lecture only.
I'm signing off.
Paul.
Sir, am I audible to you now? Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Yes. So anyone have any kind of question? So I was actually disconnected in the last moment of this session. Anyone have any kind of question, any queries?
No, sir.
I don't.
No, sir, not as of now.
So now the group is also open for your discussion. So you can like discuss there. If you have any kind of like questions, query, you can also post there. And your friends can also like everyone can discuss everything there in the group. So thank you everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this beautiful session. This was like very wonderful and very fundamental. So from the basic idea of like from the starting of how we can create the M files, how we can start writing a program. So all those things you have covered in your lecture. Hopefully after attending this session, anyone can start doing like any MATLAB program. So thank you, sir. And one more thing. So I have actually requested something to sir. So if sir gives some positive response to that, I will let you know about that thing. So in the WhatsApp group very soon.
Okay,
Thank
so
you,
Thank you
I'll
so much, sir.
check my schedule and I'll let you know. Dimple.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I'll check my
Thank you so much,
lecture
sir. For
schedule and I'll let you know. Okay.
so thank you so much, sir. Sir, so with this, we are going to conclude today's session. We are sharing your feedback from today's feedback form in the WhatsApp group. Kindly fill that. Also tomorrow we have 2 more sessions. We are going to discuss about in the first session, Dr. Saitrabrot Gogoi, he will cover the origin. And in the second half, we have Dr. Polas Dotto from Dibrugarh University. He will cover the scientific writing using LaTeX. So both the sessions will be very interesting. So we are expecting that you all will be there. The sessions will be start from 10:30 and we are going to start the Zoom meeting from 10:20 onwards. So you are requested to kindly join by 10:20 by using the same Zoom link. So see you tomorrow. And once again, thank you, Deka sir, for delivering such a wonderful lecture.
Yeah, thank you. Because it was a great pleasure to be here. So deliver such a huge audience. So I wish all the best. Okay, Dimple, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good day.